board. That's okay. Okay, so we're gonna start with this. If you want to build, if you would like to build a base, right? You always start from the bottom, right? Okay? So the bottom always start with a pancake. I call it a pancake, right? You want a house of a pancake, a little thicker. You don't want it too thin. So how do you figure it out? Is thickness. So you use a needle tool, okay? Oh, I have it right here. Okay, needle tool. That will test it. So we're going to take this, a ball of clay, okay? You want about no less than a 1/4 inch. I would say probably 1/2 inch. A little shy of a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to use this as a lazy Susan. Yes? I'm going to hit it. I need to change its direction because if not, it will stick on the paper. You can also use the canvas that I'm going to give it to you. Right? Okay? I like my paper. So you're going to check to see, that's like almost like 1/2 inch, yeah? So I want it a little thinner than that. Okay. Can you use a rolling pin? Or like, the kitchen sink? Or like, right here? This is a Costco saran wrap too. You can use that too. Right? Okay. So I think I have about 1/2 inch. Maybe a little less than a 1/2 inch. Maybe it's a 1/4 inch. Yep. A little more than a 1/4 inch. Okay. So now what you need to do is you need to make sure that you write your name on it. So I'm going to write JW and the class number 6. Yeah? I'm going to flip it. Okay? Now here, what you can do is you can start with, you can draw a little circle. Or you can take a little circular cut. Right. I have a baking wheel. So what I will do is I'll take this. I'm going to draw a circle right there. That's called, you can use that as a lazy Susan. So I'm going to build from here, go up. Okay? So that's the base. Yes? Second, when you want to cut the clay, okay, make sure that you don't slice it like this. And then slice it again. Okay? Like the tiny pieces. Because all these, if you fold them together, it traps air inside. And that will cause the air pocket, and then your pots will kind of explode. Okay, once you have an air inside, heat accumulated, and there's no way to go, it will just pop. Okay? So that make sure that you do. So how much you cut? I usually like to cut a chunk. Like that. Okay? Now, I'm going to go in. I'm going to roll the coil. I'm going to use the palm on my hand to push down, okay? But not push down to the table, because if you push down, you only flatten it. I want to push down, but roll forward. Yes? I want to be as even as possible. If it's too flat, you go back to flatten out a little bit. So I use my finger to control the direction. Yes? I'm going to take this. I'm going to flatten it out just a little bit. want to cut off the both ends. And all these, I want to save it. Put it in a plastic bag. Don't try not to expose your face. So always cover it. Okay? If you notice this, the clay right here, one side kind of sliding paper. You see? Bottom is a little thinner than the top. Just because this is about the thickness of this. I want to make sure I same thickness all the way. Thicker it gets, when they shrink, it contracts and expands, probably will increase the possibility of cracking and warping. So you want to make sure you build it nicely. Then I'm going to take the second one right here to put it on here. You see? 1/4 inch. Like that. So that means if a 14 inches coil pot, if I build 14 coil, I should get it that high. Yeah? Somewhat. All right. So here you go. That's how we join. First, the thick side should be always on top. Because if the thin side, it will collapse. Okay? So I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this. Now the thick side is close to me. I'm going to take it down. The first one, always L-shaped joint. L. Okay? So what does that mean? It means right here. Can you see it? L-shaped joint. I'm going to take this, first one. I'm going to put half of a coil, bend it like this. I'm going to bring it close to me. I'm going to rotate. Once you come to here, don't go all the way around because these overlap gonna all create a possibility of trapping air. How much? I put 2-finger distance like this, and then rip it very nicely, and then rip it like that. Okay? So now the top part. So that's L shape. I'm gonna blend it inside. Try not to disturb the top. Okay? I'm going to take my needle tool, or this one here, either way, I'm going to cut it in 45 degrees. Cut off the love handle right here, okay? Because why? These are still workable. I want to use them, recycle them again. I will wash them again and then use it. Make sense? I kind of cut it too hard. Okay, here you go. Are we good? It's very, very important. Your first coil, thick size up, L-shaped joint. Yes? Don't do this. This is called butt joint. Butt and butt together. There's no grip. But L-shape has more grip to it. Okay? So this, no good. This, yes. Okay? Alright. Are we good? After this one, if that is established, everything else, it's a little easier. But now you can notice actually on the side, I cut the 45 degree. This is the time I give you, this is no secret. You can buy it at Home Depot. These are sheet metal. The shape, I cut it myself. Okay? So it's like half of a heart. If you have 2 of them, there's going to be a whole heart. So what I want to do is, because this is in your toolkit. This is not. This is much stiffer. So if I want to shape round, I'll use this. But if I want to compress, I'll use this. Much stiffer. So I'm going to compressions, I'm going to come down. You can come on this side, Sherry. Okay, so right here. Can you see? I'm going to go all the way around, make sure everything connected. Okay, are we good? Next coil. 10 minutes. I'm going to stop at 5 and we're going to go out and get all your stuff, okay? And then we'll do another demo next time when we're around. I can just put the whole thing like this, but that means my pot's gonna be so thick. So that's why this is the coil technique, but almost like coil slab. SLAB technique, just because if I pound it, they get taller and faster. Notice, making this coil right here, pay attention right here. Looks easy, but it's not. 20-year experience, okay? Because I've seen people like making a coil and do this. I don't know, did you just notice the way I'm pounding, okay? Some people do this. They make a coil, first of all, it's uneven, and then they do this. And then it all come like that. And of course it's not gonna work, but when I hit it, I'm kind of very lightly touching it, okay? But these are experience, don't worry about it. Just you screw it up a few more times, you will learn, okay? All right, I'm gonna bring this closer. Second, for construction-wise, I'm opening right here. What is the best construction is? Start from here or start from opposite? Opposite side. Yes. So thick sides apart. Make sure you can close the door. Okay? So opposite right here. I'm going to start this one right here. Okay. But now, I'm just going to do 1/3 of a coil because I don't want to put this whole thing in there. Right? Because I'm not gaining a height. I want a height. So I'm going to put 1/4 right here. Can you see? Now I'm making this right here. I'm going to join down and then keep rotating. And then because my pots need to go out, so I'm actually laying my hand slightly towards me. Can you see the clay kind of stretch it out? Yes? Because what? My hand. So sometimes the students say, why my pot keep going out? I said, pay attention. Is your hand doing this or this? Yes? Okay, now in here, I will blend. Where's the metal ring? Right here. So I'm going to take this, okay, the flat part. I'm holding down right here. I'm going to scraping it. All the way around. Make sure you breathe. Don't get too nervous and forget to breathe in. Then inside, I want to blend them. I can use my tools. I go back to my hand, and I'm going to go in. Can you see it right here? You good? Okay. So I can kind of blend them a little bit. Now I'm going to take this. I'm going to go back in to shape it. Now this pot should go out just a little bit. Can you see the difference between flat and curved? If I put this curve inside, what do you think will happen? If I scrape this against the clay, what do you think will happen? If I take this round and scrape it out, do you think the clay will go out? Push out? Yes. Watch. Very lightly. Can you see? Now, you say, I want my clay very smooth. And I want to keep going out. The direction, I'm going to go back again, back and forth a few more times. Okay? If you want them very smooth, look at this rib right here. So you can see, now, let's see. See right here, indentations? If I push my clay a little bit more, the clay goes out. Smooth it out a lot. Okay? Questions so far? You got 5 minutes. No? Okay, I just want to tell you the next one. If I want my clay to go in, watch this. I'm going to do the half. If you cannot finish it in one row, can you do half? Yes. Watch. I'm going to do this. This side, right now I'm pinching in. Watch. Can you see that half goes in? Yes? Do you know how I do it? Because I put my finger like that. So again, you always will ask why my clay cannot go in. How about pay attention with your hand, pinch it in. Okay? I'm going to take another one, then we'll be done from here. I'm going to take this side, so you can see this side actually go in, right? How do you reinforce that? You must compress. Blend them together. If you don't do it, it will collapse. Gonna go back in, blend inside, outside. Okay? You cannot finish 12 inches pot one day. It takes time. You let them dry, okay? Now I'm gonna take this, again, this side, right in here, goes in because I pinch it in. Now what happens if you pinch it out? I actually still have half hour in between, so I'm good. Now right here, this side, I'm gonna pinch it out. Straight coil. Watch. I'm laying my finger towards me. Already I do this. I do this. Now I'm gonna do this. Can you see that pot totally go out? Only on my directions of my hand? Yes? And that's how you built your coil. You can control. Now I'm gonna go back. And take your time. I'm rushing it right now just because I want to do the demo for you. Okay, but take your time. You can always go back. You see the finger mark? Okay, I'm going to go back to fix it. But you have to remember when you push your hand. This is called compressions. Okay, I'm probably going to say like 20 times compressions. This is compressions. I put my hand underneath. I scrape my clay like that. That's compressions. Yes? This is not compressions. Why? Because there's no resistance inside. Yes? Okay? So make sure when you do that, very little bit at a time. And then I've seen people do this. That's too much. A little bit, short stroke. And all the way around. And then when you come here, yeah? So you can change your directions. Okay? So far so good? Yes? What happens if you don't like that? Try it at home. I can show you. I like to do a big operation. It's like, this is totally screwed up. So I'm going to come right here. Alright, so right here, I'm going to draw a V shape. Can you see right here? Yeah? V shape. I'm going to cut that. I'm going to overlap like that. There's no different than you adding a coil, right? So you can actually change your shape a little bit. Just make sure what? Compress. Compress, compress, compress. Okay. If your clay is uneven, take a little needle tool. Take a little needle tool and draw it. What the heck? You see right there? Cut it off. Can you turn my bending wheel for me?
What?
Can you turn my bending wheel for me? Yes. Slowly. Perfect. Thank you. Now they're even, yeah? And you can start over. Okay? Are we good? Nobody have a question? Let's take a few questions. Yes?
was there a 2-finger overlap?
2 finger, yes, I use it, you mean, this and this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I put it right here, and then just rip it. Okay? Nobody have a questions?
What if you put that and cover that to work on it later and it's a little bit stiff? Do you need to score it to add the next coil or not?
Spray. That's an excellent question. Obviously, it's clear and powder. Forgot to ask you.
No, I'm not going to do it. That's what I asked.
Okay, so if you're done, okay, if you're done for today, you're gonna go out for dinner. So I suggest take these. These are like maybe this is like if your parents do like dry cleaning, these bags are good. Okay, so I would suggest take one of these if you are done for today. Okay, and you want them to dry because it's getting wobbly. You can handle it. Take a strip of the same clay, only rub around the top. You see? First. Then you take the big one and rub around the whole thing with the board. You're going to borrow from me. Like this. Alright? If you're going to go out on a vacation for more than 3 days, rub one more time. Alright? You rather watch your clay to dry than you let them dry away from you. If it's too dry, and you come back, it's way too dry, you cannot work. Take a little water. Okay, here you go. Spritz it a little bit. Okay? And then cover it. And go have a bowl of the ice cream. And then come back again. Shake. If it's still dry, one more time. You do that, you let the water naturally penetrate through it. Okay? If it's really dry, and you don't want to start over, last but not least, take this whole thing, dump it in a bucket, and then take it out. But you have to be careful. It's like so much, like blowing the balloon. It's like so much expansion and contractions. Make sure they don't fall apart. Okay.